Good morning, everyone. I know a lot of people tagged me to this story, and because I had a busy day yesterday, I had no idea what people were talking about. They kept saying, speak about this Simi issue, but I had no clue till I had to go do my own research, and this is my take on it. Now, before we get into the nitty gritty of this story, I want to remind everyone yet again, because I had made this statement a while back. It doesn't matter what position you find yourself in life. You might be born into a wealthy family, or you might be born into a family that doesn't have everything. But regardless on what level you are, always think of yourself as being big. Always imagine yourself in positions of power. Because the truth is, you never know what plans God has for you. And you see this thing we do where we just sit and comment and make posts, and we try not to think of the consequences of it because you feel like you're a nobody. You feel you don't have value at the moment, so that determines your whole future plans. But we have to be very, very careful what we do. As long as you have a dream here, as long as you see yourself being in a better position here, that means it's achievable. So you have to control everything else you do around this topic. Now let's speak about Simi. Now, Simi is an artist. I love and appreciate her music. I have been rocking her music from before I moved to Nigeria. I love, is it Jeremy? I love her music. But still, that does not excuse the fact that she made the most inappropriate statements when it comes to children. Honestly, the more I looked into different posts and comments, I felt cringe. I felt an uncomfortable feeling come over me. I know we as people we love to make jokes about everything, but when it comes to sexual comments that has to do with minors, it is inappropriate and it is a very dangerous and messy game to play. See, I do not play with children. I don't care if it's a little boy or a little girl. Anything that has to do with children, we need to be extremely careful. We need to protect them. And when we as adults make statements like this, it's very sketchy. I'm sorry. We as adults are the only set of people that the younger generation has to look up to. We are the ones that have to set certain standards for them. And when we condone things like this, all in the name of, oh, she's my fave or he's my fave, it's not acceptable. The fact is, you did say a lot of inappropriate things that referred to minors, and even if it was from tweets that resurfaced from years ago, it is your duty to come out and apologize for them because that was a very wrong statement. We do not play around with our kids. It is our duty as adults to hold every adult that makes inappropriate statements to check. This is not the time to ask your team to go delete tweets. This is a time for you to generally apologize to the public so it doesn't tarnish your name down the line. Because let's even take you out of the equation. If I am a mother of a girl, but if I had a boy child, right, and I wake up to comments like this made in reference to my child, I promise you it's not going to go easy. I'm going to take it as an attack. And statistically, when we think about it, a lot of females have been abused more. But this is also because those are the numbers that are put out there. It doesn't diminish the fact that women do get into bad situations. But this isn't a gender war when we speak about our children. This is holding people accountable for their actions. This is knowing a clear difference between good and evil, and this is not nice. Now, me as a woman, I would always speak about the things that affect me personally and things that affect women in general. But I would never close my eyes and say it's just one way, because over time we have noticed, just this week alone, we have noticed all over the internet of different situations that were cringe. When we fight for rights, we have to fight for all rights. All children matter. We can't say, oh, because we are fighting for one specific issue when it comes to children that have no voice for themselves, we're just going to ignore it and say, but as long as you're not part of my group, then we're not going to speak about it. No, we are going to tackle every single issue that has to do with kids. There was a video floating around about the lady Obidi, right? I generally I agree with a lot of things because she brings facts when she displays. But there was a video floating around of her saying, and so when it comes to the mother who did something with a V to her daughter. And if you watch her full video, you will see that it was taken out of context. But those words, and so, when it comes to children, should never apply. It doesn't matter if it's a man who does something wrong or a woman. You speak up on all children. It doesn't matter. If you're focused on a specific gender and you want to bring awareness to that, more power to you. But you see, when we speak about children, you do not play and pick sides. All our kids matter. And the truth is that we don't have the statistics on how many little boys actually get in these kind of situations. We don't have it. But we still have to protect them though. See, any child that is under the age of 20 is a child. Forget about the way they develop, if they are physically taller or bulkier or bigger. All those things don't matter because they're still children. And I know right from time, this is the difference between the females and the males. Girls generally know when something isn't right, when something is off. But when it comes to the male side, I think because of the way they were raised, they don't even realize when something is offbeat. They could be in a bad situation, but they turn it into bragging rights. We need to re-educate our children and teach them also how to speak out when something feels inappropriate. And this could come from the general public and can come from your family also. You have to educate them on how to spot what is wrong and from what is right. Because like I said earlier in my video, a lot of men, when they speak now as adults, they don't even realize that they had been put in a traumatic situation and they laugh about it because they think, oh, it was cool, it was fun. No, you were put in a very, very dangerous situation and it could have gone both ways. And yet, I even wanted to speak about another video I saw recently. There's a video that came out with a mother and her son where the son was always, a little too close for me, a little cringe for me. See, our job as parents is to love our children and nurture them. And we have to teach them between what is normal affection and what is inappropriate affection. And I think a lot of parents, because they get those lines crossed, we cannot teach our children to be extremely touchy, even if we are parents. Most times when you even bring this topic up, a lot of people say, oh, you look like you were not raised with love in your family. There is love and protection, and there is inappropriate behavior. Let's never confuse the two. If you ever spot a video that feels cringe, it's because it's cringe. If you ever read a comment or a tweet that sounds cringe, it's because it's cringe. Let's not sugarcoat anything here. And please, for the love of God, for all the women who speak on a specific gender and focus on specific topics that have to do with women, always remember that when kids are involved in that equation, you must take accountability and speak for them also. Our children don't know how to live this life we're living right now. To them, everything is fun and games. So it is our place as adults to protect them and protect their image. And I am sorry, if a woman ever commits such crimes, I will be speaking about it. I don't care who you are, where you come from, what your status is. We will speak about this, because if we do not shed light on topics like this, it will just keep going unchecked. I'm going to make another video right after this addressing kids and parents. Stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, guys, when you see nonsense, you point it out immediately. And again, be very mindful of what you put out there. But sometimes God has a way of revealing certain things. So in a way, sometimes it's good to be put out there. But be careful. Always remember that you could become something great in the future. So all these things will resurface at one point in time. And I speak not just about this situation, but in general. The way people ram insults online is something else. Think about your future. Think about what light you want to see your future in. And as we fight the good fight, please remember that every child's life matters. It doesn't matter the gender. Every single child's life matters. No conversation on that. Now be safe and stay tuned for my next video, okay? Mwah.